I welcome you all here. As we know that we have already started our physics paper 2. That is the first unit where we have discussed that is nothing but the interference. In last lecture, we have discussed about what is interference, then the properties of the interference, types of the interference, the characteristics of light, properties of light, and all things. Then, along with this, this was the topic which we have discussed in last lecture, in last week, that is the relation between path difference and phase difference. So we know what is the phase difference. It is nothing but the difference in phase angle between two waves, and the path difference is nothing but the difference in actual distance traveled by the two waves. So that is about the path difference and phase difference. Then we have discussed the principle of superposition, where we have discussed this particular principle of superposition in detail. That is statement also, and we know what is the what does this principle of superposition state? It states that when two or more than two light waves travel through a medium, and when they arrive at a point simultaneously, then they interact. That is interact, or we can call it as overlap each other, isn't it? They overlap each other, they superpose each other, and due to superposition, what happens? The resultant displacement at that particular point, the resultant displacement at that particular point of the particle or that particular light waves at a point is the vector sum of the displacement due to each wave, isn't it? So this is nothing but the principle of superposition. Let us consider if d1 and d2, these are the displacement due to two waves. That means, let us say d1 is the displacement of the first light wave and d2 is nothing but the displacement of second light wave, and then the resultant displacement due to the superposition of these two light waves, that will be d is equal to d1 plus d2. So this is the principle of superposition which we have discussed in last lecture. If these waves, that is d1 and d2 as we are talking about, if these two waves are in phase, then the resultant displacement at that particular point will be d1 plus d2. And if they are out of phase, then the resultant displacement at that particular point will be d1 minus d2. Okay, so this is the principle of superposition. Then we have discussed about the interference. That we know that what is interference? Interference is nothing but the phenomenon such as you might have studied, or we have discussed actually the reflection, refraction. These are nothing but the phenomenons of light. So interference is also one of the phenomenon of light when two or more than two waves, that is light wave we are talking about, when they arrive at a particular point simultaneously in a medium. So what happens? Energy at that particular point gets modified. That means energy changes. Either it will increase or it will decrease. Depends upon how they superpose each other. Okay. So energy at that particular point gets modified, and that is what we call it as an interference phenomenon, isn't it? Or in another way, you can define it that it is nothing but the modification in the distribution of light energy. That means when two or more than two light waves superpose each other, when they overlap each other, there will be a modification in the intensity of light, in the distribution of light. And that modification in the distribution of light energy due to superposition of two or more waves, that is what we call it as an interference. Okay. So interference is the phenomenon of superposition of two coherent waves in the region of superposition. And here is this particular figure. So here this is the light source. This light source is falling on this particular first slit. Here we have a slit. When it falls on this particular slit, it behaves as a source of light. So it will emit a light in forward direction. That is in fact in all possible directions. Where we have one more this particular surface where we have two slits again. So when this light falls on these two sources, that is slits, so this slit behaves as a first source of light, and this another slit will behave as a, or will work as a second, that is source of light. So when these two light waves travel through a medium, they arrive at a point, they superpose each other, they overlap each other, and due to superposition, due to overlapping, we are getting the interference pattern. So this also we have studied. This is the interference pattern which we have discussed in detail in last lecture. where we found how maxima and minima are formed, or how we are getting the maximas and minimas. So where we know that when a crest of one light wave coincides with the crest of other, or trough of one light wave coincides with the trough of other, then the point where they superpose each other, and that point will have the maximum intensity, or that will be a bright point, and that is what we call it as a maxima. So likewise we are getting this number of maximas. Similarly we are getting the minima also. That means when crest of one light wave coincides with the trough of other, or trough of one light wave coincides with the crest of other, due to superposition of these two light waves, the point where they interact with each other or superpose each other, that point will have the minimum intensity, and that point will be dark point, and we call it as a minima. So likewise we are getting the minimas and maximas on that particular interference pattern, which you can see easily, or minor, that is from this particular you can understand it very easily. Okay, so next, conditions for interference, that also we have discussed. We know there are a few conditions for getting the interference pattern. Those are nothing but when two sources of light must be of same frequency. The two or more than two sources of light must be coherent, isn't it? The two sources of light must be monochromatic, that we have discussed already. Mono means that is single, and chroma means color. The light which is having single frequency, that is what we call it as a monochromatic. And the third, that is fourth condition, is the path difference between the overlapping waves must be less than the coherence length of the waves. Okay, so these are the five conditions. And the last one, that is if the two sets of waves are plane polarized, their plane of polarization must be the same. So these all are nothing but the conditions for getting interference. Okay, am I audible? Is it okay, everyone? Are you getting me? Please,
yes, sir.
Tell. Okay. Again, the condition for formation of distinct fringe pattern. If you want to see the fringe pattern distinctly, again there are few conditions. So what are those conditions? The two coherent sources must close to each other in order to discern the fringe pattern. That means the distance between the two sources of light must be as small as possible. Okay, this is the first condition. Second, the distance of the screen from two sources must be large. Okay, and the third, the vector sum of the overlapping electric field vectors should be 0 in the dark regions for obtaining distinct dark and bright fringes. So the sum will be 0 only if the vectors are anti-parallel and have the same magnitude. So these are nothing but the condition for formation of distinct fringe pattern. Now there are two types of interference. The first one, that is the constructive interference, and we know that there will be some points, that means at some points in that particular medium the intensity of light is maximum, and that is due to crest of one wave coincides with the crest of other, or trough of one light wave coincides with the trough of other. Okay, so the point where these two are coinciding or superposing or overlapping, that point will have the maximum intensity, and that interference we call it as a constructive interference. So you can see at this particular figure where we have these two light waves. This is first light wave plus this is second light wave. They are traveling in a same direction. They arrive at a point, they superpose each other, isn't it? They overlap each other, and due to overlapping we are getting this particular resultant, that interference. Okay, so this is what we call it as a constructive interference. Next we have a destructive interference. What is destructive interference? Now, while at some other points, excepting the point which we have discussed, this one, that is where we discussed that there will be a maximum intensity. Excepting these, there will be some other points where the intensity will be minimum. And why intensity will be minimum? It is due to crest of one wave coincides with the trough of other, or trough of one wave coincides with the crest of other. And that particular interference, we call it as a destructive interference. So you can see this particular figure. This is one of the light wave. This is another light wave. See, this is the trough of first light wave, and this is the crest. This is the crest of first, and this is the trough. They are getting overlap, and due to overlapping, we are getting the interference, and that's why we'll have the minimum intensity. Okay, so this is what we call it as a destructive interference. So these are the two types. Now, if you look at this particular figure, then you can understand how this constructive interference works, or how we are getting the constructive interference. So here, this is one of the light wave which is traveling, and this is another light wave which is traveling through a medium. They superpose each other, they arrive at a point, and due to which we are getting this particular interference pattern, and which is nothing but the constructive interference pattern. Similarly, we have this another figure, this another slide, where these are the two light waves which traveling through a medium. This is the crest of first, and this is the trough, which are overlapping to each other. This is the trough of first, and this is the crest of second. They are overlapping to each other, and due to which we are getting this particular interference, and that is what we call it as a destructive interference. So this is one more slide we are having for understanding this interference of light. Okay, this is one more slide where you can see that the green line shows the crest lines from S1, and blue line shows the crest lines from the S2. So when two crests meet, we are getting the constructive interference, and when two troughs meet, we are getting the constructive interference, and when crest and trough, or trough and crest meet each other, we are getting the destructive interference. So this we have studied in last lecture in detail. This was the introductory part where we have discussed, and now we are moving again onto the our topic, which we have discussed it earlier, but again I would like to discuss it in detail with you. That is nothing but the interference in plane parallel thin film. Now, before we understand how interference takes place in plane parallel thin film, it becomes very important to know what is the plane parallel thin film. So what is the plane parallel thin film? It is the transparent thin film of uniform thickness. It is a transparent thin film of uniform thickness which is bounded by two parallel surfaces. That is what we call it as a plane parallel thin film. Okay. Now, thus a thin film of thickness, the thickness of these thin films should be in the range of 0.5 micrometer to 10 micrometer. That may be considered as a thin film. So this is nothing but the plane parallel thin film. Okay. Are you getting me, everyone? Please unmute yourself. Okay.
Yes.
Now, a transparent film of uniform thickness of the order of one wavelength of visible range, that is typically say of the order of 10 micrometer, which is bounded by two parallel surfaces, is known as a plane parallel thin film. For example, a soap bubble, air film, which is enclosed between sheets, glass or mica sheets. These are nothing but the examples of thin film. So when a thin film between two transparent medium is illuminated with light, the rays reflected from its upper and lower surface. Just try to understand. This is the core part of this particular topic. What happens actually when the interference takes place in a plane parallel thin film? When a thin film between two transparent medium, is illuminated, we have two transparent medium, and there is a thin film between them, and which is illuminated with the light. The rays reflected from its upper and lower surface, whatever the rays which are getting reflected from its upper and lower surface, they produce the interference pattern. So this is how we are getting the interference in plane parallel thin film. So when white light is incident on a thin film, such as a film, that is soap film or film of oil which is floating over water, different colors are seen, and it can be explained by considering interference between light reflected from the top and the bottom surface of a thin film. So interference in the case of thin films takes place due to number one, reflected light, and number two, that is transmitted light. So this is how the interference takes place. So when white light is incident on a thin film, different colors are seen, and it can be explained by considering the interference between light reflected from the top and the bottom surface of a thin film. So interference in the case of thin film, it takes place due to the reflected light and transmitted light. Now here I have the figure where you can see, as we have already said, that this is nothing but the thin film. This is the upper surface of the thin film, and this is the lower surface of the thin film, which is having the thickness that is T. Are you getting me? This is the thin film, this is the upper surface of the thin film, and this is the lower surface of the thin film. And here, this T shows the thickness of this particular thin film. So we have a thin film having the thickness T, which is having the refractive index N. Okay. When a monochromatic light falls on this particular thin film, that is AB. This is the AB, which we call it as a monochromatic light, which is falling on this upper surface of thin film at a point B. Then what happens? What will happen? The part of that light will get reflected into the same medium. That this medium is air medium, upper surface. This is a air medium, and this is nothing but the medium of that particular thin film, which we have considered having the refractive index N. So when this monochromatic light AB falls at a point B on the upper surface of this thin film, the light, part of that light will get reflected, and part of that light will get refracted through that particular thin film. Again, that refracted light will fall on the other surface, that is lower surface of the thin films at a point D, and what happens? It gets reflected and it falls on the surface, that is upper surface E, and it comes out of that particular thin film in the air medium. Okay, and remaining light, that is, we are talking here, this is the point, that is when this AB light, that is light AB falls at a point B, part of the light gets reflected into BC and part of the light gets refracted, that is through this particular transparent thin film, that is BD. Again, when this BD falls at this particular point D, part of that light gets reflected, that is into DE, and part of that particular light gets refracted at a into this particular I. Okay, so this is how this particular that is light when falls on this particular thin film, this is how it gets reflected and refracted. Now see, you just try to understand, when this light fell on this particular surface at a point B, then it got reflected and it got transmitted. So this transmitted light has covered this much part, that is, it has traveled from B to D, D to E, and E to F. Okay, whereas this particular reflected light has covered this distance, B to C. So there is a path difference between these two light waves. What is the path difference? That path difference we have to find out. Are you getting me? When we find the path difference, that is BC and EF, or let us say BDEF, we need to find out the path difference between BC and BDEF. Then only will be able to tell whether that particular transparent thin film will appear bright or it will appear dark, or when it will appear color. Are you getting me, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
that thin film appears bright or it appears dark, it depends upon the path difference between these two light, between these two light waves, that is BC and BDEF. So that is our end. Actually, this part we have done in last lecture, but still I felt that I need to explain it again so that you will understand it. Okay, so what we have considered here, we have considered a thin parallel sided transparent film having thickness T, which is having refractive index N, and surrounded by air, which I have shown you the figure where was a ray of, that is AB of monochromatic light, which allowed to fall on that particular upper surface at point B at an angle I, isn't it? The light undergoes partial reflection in the direction BC and partial refraction along BD through that particular thin film. So the angle of refraction is R. At D, it is again getting partially reflected along DE. I just shown you, and partially refracted along DI. The reflected light DE is partially refracted in the direction EF, So let us calculate the path difference between the rays, that is BC and BDEF. So we want to find out what? The path difference between those reflected and refracted ray, or we can say the transmitted light, because at the beginning only I told you, that is reflected light and transmitted light plays a very important role in this particular plane parallel thin film for getting in, or for interference. Okay, so let us find out the path difference between the rays BC and BDEF. So let EN and BM to meet at point G, I'll tell you. So then angle that is HGD, see BM, this is the BM, okay, and then what I told you, BM and EN, this is BM, sorry, this is BM and this is EN. They arrive at this particular point GM. It is, they are intersecting, isn't it? This particular GM. So on the basis of it, if you consider the angle, that is triangle HGD, see, which HGD? This HG and D. So this HGD will be angle of refraction, because this is nothing but the angle of refraction. So if this angle is R, then this will be also R. So that's why we'll have the angle HGD is equal to R. Now the path difference between the two reflected rays. Now which are those reflected rays? We are talking that this is the BC, which is reflected rays, and BDEF, this is nothing but the refracted ray. So the path difference between these two will be N of BD plus DE. Now what is BD plus DE? This BD then DE. So BD plus DE minus BN. Now what we are doing? We are deducting this BN from it. Okay. So if you do that, we'll be able to get the equation 1. And what will be equation 1? That is N of BD plus DM. See here again, DM plus ME, because DE is equal to DM plus ME. So that's why we get a DM plus ME minus BN. Okay, let us consider this is an equation number 1. Now we know what is refractive index. Refractive index is nothing but the ratio of sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction, which can be written as sine I. If I take sine I, then I can write that Bn, isn't it? This Bn upon Be. If this I consider as angle of incidence, then what is sine theta? It is the opposite side upon hypotenuse. So this is Bn is the opposite side upon hypotenuse. That is Be. That is sine I. And what is sine R? This is the R, angle R. So angle R will be equal to this Me, opposite side upon hypotenuse. That is this Be. Are you getting me, everyone? So that's why I have taken sine I is equal to Bn upon Be, and sine R is equal to Me upon Be. So here Be gets cancelled, and we are getting the refractive index is equal to Bn upon Me. Okay. Next, so we can write now here, if we have N is equal to Bn upon Me, अगर हमारे पास N is equal to Bn upon Me है, तो हम लोग Bn क्या लिख सकते हैं? Bn will be equal to N into Me. So let us consider this as an equation number 2, and therefore the path difference, that is N of BD plus DM plus Me, this minus this N into Me. So which we can write it as N of BD plus DM. ये आपको समझ में आया होगा. If you multiply this as N, इसको आप N अगर multiply करते हो तो आप इसको NBD plus NDM plus NME लिख सकते हो, बराबर है? तो ये NME plus और ये माइनस, ये कैंसिल हो जाएगा, तो बचेगा क्या हमारे पास? N of BD plus DM. So we'll have the path difference BD, N of BD plus DM, and therefore again see BD, अगर आप BD देखते हो तो BD is nothing but the it is equal to GD. So I have taken it as GD. So N of GD plus DM मैंने लिखा है, and GD plus DM. See GD plus DM क्या है? That is nothing but the GM. GD plus DM, that is nothing but the GM. GD plus DM को मैं GM लिख सकता हूँ. So again I got equation that is N into GM. So let us consider this is an equation number 3. Now in triangle BGM, अगर आप ये triangle BGM देखते हो तो आप cos R is equal to GM upon BG लिख सकते हो, because GM is the adjacent side, GM is the adjacent side, divided by BG is nothing but the hypotenuse. So again BG, अगर BG को आप देखते हो properly, this BG is nothing but at the initial point I told you that T is the thickness of this particular thin film, and from here again it is the distance T. So T plus T 2T. So I have shown you this BG is equal to GM. So instead of BG here we can write it as 2T. So GM upon 2T is nothing but the cos R. Okay, अगर आपके पास cos R is equal to GM upon 2T है तो you can write GM is equal to what? 2T cos R. GM is equal to what you can write? You can write 2T cos R. And therefore, now we came to the point. Therefore, our path difference, that is n into GM, is equal to 2nt into cos. इसको सिर्फ हमने n से मल्टीप्लाई किया. This equation we have multiplied by refractive index. So NGM is equal to 2nt cos R हम लिख सकते हैं. Let us consider this as equation number 5. So the reflected rays BC, ये जो reflected ray है BC, suffers a path difference, that is of how much path difference it suffers? That is lambda by 2. When it reflects at point B. यहाँ पे जब reflect होगी तो path difference जो होगा वहां पर कितना होगा? That will be lambda by 2. And if it is lambda by 2, therefore the net path difference between BC and EF जो हमने consider किए, that will be equal to 2nt cos R. उसमें से आपको minus lambda by 2 minus करना होगा. Are you getting me? Why I am deducting here minus lambda by 2? Can anybody tell me? नेट पाथ डिफरेंस जो है इसमें BC और EF में, दिस इज BC एंड दिस इज EF मतलब दिस BD EF, ऐसे दोनों में जो पाथ डिफरेंस है वो पाथ डिफरेंस कितना है? ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू. तो रिफ्लेक्टेड रे BC सफर्स अ पाथ डिफरेंस ऑफ व्हाट? lambda by 2 on reflection at B, and therefore the net path difference will be ये 2nt जो हमने ऑलरेडी फाइंड आउट किया उसमें से आपको लैम्बडा डिवाइडेड बाय 2 माइनस करना होगा, so that you will get the net path difference. Now see, the film appears bright. अब जाके हम लोग we came to the conclusion. When that film will appear a bright, if this path difference, that is 2nt cos R minus lambda by 2, अगर ये m into lambda है, if it is m into lambda, then it will appear bright, and therefore 2nt cos R minus lambda by 2 is equal to m into lambda. इसको हम लोग 2nt cos R, ये minus lambda by 2 right side को लेंगे तो it becomes plus, and therefore we can write m into lambda plus lambda by 2. Okay, or this equation we can write if 2nt cos R is equal to 2m plus 1 into, इसको हमने लिखा है इस तरह. We can write, just try to understand this. We have written 2m plus 1 into lambda by 2, so that means it becomes same m into lambda by 2, where m is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3. So this is the first condition for that particular brightness. So when film will appear brightness, if 2nt cos R is equal to this one, okay, and when the film appears dark, when this is equal to this one, okay. So m is an, see this one, okay, or at last we can say again we can write this equation as m is an integer, therefore m plus 1 is also integer, and therefore 2nt cos R is equal to m into lambda, and n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 dot dot etc. So this is the for brightness and this is for darkness. So when the path difference is this, the film will appear bright, and when the path difference is this one, the film will appear dark. So let us talk about now the conditions for maxima, that is brightness. So what is the condition? Just we have discussed, and this is the condition for the brightness. So I'm not going in detail, so you just try to understand that maxima occurs when the optical path difference is m into lambda. If the difference in the optical path between the two rays, that will be equal to an integral number of full waves, and then the rays meet each other in phase, therefore the crest of one wave will fall on the crest of other, and the waves will interfere constructively. Thus we can write 2 mu t cos R minus lambda 2 is equal to m into lambda, The reflected rays undergo constructive interference to produce brightness, or we can say maxima, at the point of their meeting, and therefore 2 mu t cos r is equal to 2m plus 1 into lambda by 2. So this is the condition for the maxima. This is the condition for brightness. Again, let us discuss what is the condition for minima, that is darkness. So what will be the condition for minima now? Minima will occur when the optical path difference is equal to 2m plus 1 into lambda by 2. If the difference in the optical path between the two rays, if it is equal to an odd integral number of half waves, then the rays will meet each other in opposite phase. The crest of one wave will fall on the trough of other, and the waves will interfere destructively. Thus, when 2 mu t cos r minus lambda by 2 is equal to 2m plus 1 into lambda by 2. This is the equation number 3. And the reflected rays undergo destructive interference to produce the darkness. So the equation 3 can be written as, or may be rewritten as, 2 mu t cos r is equal to m plus 1 into lambda by 2. The phase relationship of the interfering waves does not change if one full wave is added or subtracted from any of the interfering waves. And therefore, m plus 1 into lambda can as well be replaced by m into lambda for simplicity in this particular expression. So these are nothing but the construction, that is conditions for getting maxima and minimum. Okay, thus here for minima, the condition exactly you will get this particular equation. This is the condition for the minima or that particular darkness, that is 2 mu t cos r is equal to m into lambda. So hope you understood this particular interference in plane parallel thin film. If you are having any doubt, we will discuss about your doubt. Anybody is having doubt here? Just unmute yourself and tell me. किसी को कोई doubt है? Are you getting me, everyone? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. So,
please. Yes.
When we considered part difference of lambda by 2 between BC and EF.
Yes.
Sir, can you explain that once more?
Here you will be able to understand. Lambda by 2 का मतलब क्या है? Can you tell me? What is lambda by 2? That is half of the wavelength. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir. But why would we consider lambda by 2 as
very good? See, this is the ray of light which is falling at this particular point B. Okay. When this ray of light getting reflected, then what happens? It suffers a path difference of lambda by 2 on reflection. It suffers a path difference of lambda by 2. If we consider that is lambda is the wavelength of that light. Okay, let us say there is a light, monochromatic light having the wavelength lambda, and when it falls on that particular surface, and this is the general explanation which we have studied in 12th standard. That is, whenever the ray of light, monochromatic ray of light falls on a surface, that is on a thin film or a surface, we can say, then what happens? It gets reflected, or let us say reflecting surface. Part of that light will get reflected and remaining light will get transmitted through it. So whatever the light which is getting reflected, that light will suffer a path difference that is of lambda by 2. And that lambda by 2 we have deducted from it. ये जो difference है दोनों में, that is the path, that is the lambda, because this is reflected from here. But whatever the refracted light was there, this was traveled through this particular transparent thin film. It incident on that the inner surface of this thin film at a point D. At D पे जाके गिरा, then it again got reflected. And after getting reflected, again it falls on this upper surface of the thin film at point E and gets transmitted through it. So ये दोनों में जो है, the net path reference you will have to deduct. इसमें से आपको lambda by 2 माइनस करना पड़ेगा. Okay, so that's why while finding the net, that is path reference, what we have done between BC and EF, 2 and T जो है path reference दोनों का, उसमें से lambda by 2 माइनस किया है हमने. We have deducted this particular lambda by 2. Okay, so this is how the what we can say the interference takes place. Interference at the beginning only. What I told you for the interference. What is the important thing here? See, when a thin film between two transparent medium is illuminated with white light, the rays reflected from its upper and lower surface produce interference pattern. This was the one thing. Okay, this was the first thing which we have discussed. And then second, when a white light is incident on a thin film, different colors are seen. It can be explained by considering interference between light reflected from the top and bottom surface of a thin film. So interference in the case of thin film takes place due to what? Reflected light and transmitted light. It takes place due to what? Reflected light and transmitted light. And that's why we have considered both reflected light as well as transmitted light. And by considering those two light waves, what we have done? We have found the path difference, and on the basis of that particular path difference, we found the we learned how that particular interference takes place. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Anybody is having? So you just try to understand that whatever the DC is, the ray is there, it suffers a reflection at air medium, and it interfaces, it undergoes a phase change. उसमें phase कितना change हुआ? कितना phase change हुआ? That is a pi, isn't it? Pi इतना phase change हुआ, और a path difference you can say lambda by 2. Phase change कितना होगा वहां पर? Pi. I'll tell you here. See here, ये जो reflection के बाद कितना phase change हुआ? Pi का. Okay, and path difference will increase. What we can say, phase change pi होगा और path difference increase होगा. Path difference will increase. कितना होगा increase? Lambda by 2. Whereas this BDEF does not. It is reflected at this particular point D, the surface of denser medium. See, ये air to denser है और ये denser to again denser. Surface of a denser medium, hence the net path difference between these two rays, that is this BC and EF we are talking about. उसमें से हमने क्या किया? Minus lambda by 2 किया. Because here इसमें जो यहाँ पे phase change हुआ on reflection, you just try to understand one thing, कि जब भी कोई लाइट इंसिडेंट होती है रिफ्लेक्टिंग सरफेस पे, वहां पे फेज चेंज होगा, दैट इज बाय पाई. ओके, एंड व्हेन द लाइट गेट्स ट्रांसमिटेड देयर विल नॉट बी एनी फेज चेंज. तो हमने ये लैम्बडा बाय 2 इसमें से पाथ डिफरेंस में से माइनस किया, एंड बाय फाइंडिंग दैट पर्टिकुलर पाथ डिफरेंस वी केम टू नो. उस पाथ डिफरेंस से हमने क्या किया? वी फाउंड द ब्राइटनेस एंड डार्कनेस ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर फिल्म, कि वो कब ब्राइट होगा और कब डार्क होगा. सो वी फाउंड और वी लर्न द कंडीशंस फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर brightness and darkness also. So this is all about this particular topic. Hope you understand. Okay, if you have any doubt, you can discuss with me. Okay, so now let us move on to the next topic, and which is nothing but the interference in thin film due to transmitted light. You just try to understand now. This topic not that much of important as far as this what we can say the interference in thin film is concerned, but again I have taken this in that is addition, so that you will be able to understand. Now here we have to study the interference in thin film due to transmitted light. Transmitted light से interference कैसे होता है, that we want to study. So here again I have taken this as a thin film. ये thin film के दो surface है, ये upper surface है, ये lower surface है. T is the thickness of this thin film and N is the refractive index. When the ray AB falls on that particular surface at a point B, then what happens? It is transmitted through it. After transmitting, what happens? it falls on the lower surface of the thin film at a point D. Okay, again gets reflected, again falls on the inner surface of that particular plane, that is thin film. Again it gets reflected. Okay, here partial reflection will be there. Now see here, this is the another part. पहले में हमने क्या पढ़ा कि reflected ray and transmitted light both we have considered. Now we are studying the interference in thin film due to only transmitted light. तो जो transmitted light है, it fell on the inner lower surface of this thin film at a point D. It got reflected. It fell on the upper, that is inner surface of the upper surface at a point E. Again it got reflected. Again after reflection it fell on this particular point F, and again it is transmitted. So these are the two light rays which are coming out of that particular thin film. So what we have considered here? We just have considered a thin film having the thickness T and refractive index N, where the ray, that is AB of monochromatic light, fell on that particular upper surface of the thin film at point B at an angle I. This is the angle of incidence here, and it is partially refracted. Okay? It is partly. This is the part of light, because part of light will get reflected, but we reflected light we are not going to consider here. We are going to consider only transmitted light. So partly it is refracted along BD. Again the angle of refraction is R. This is angle of refraction. At D it is again partially, that is reflected along DE. Again it is reflected partially along EF, and finally it comes out to this particular thin film, that is in the form of FK. Okay, so this is the consideration. So the ray DE after reflection at a point E finally emerges along FK. Let DM and FM. See, look at this. This is DM and this is FM. These are the perpendiculars to drawn to these rays, that is produce FE and DH to meet at a point, this particular point G. See, this is the point. Okay, this FE, which is FE, this FE, and this DH, FE and DH. Okay, to meet at a point G, and there is no phase change. Now यहाँ पर कोई phase change नहीं है due to reflection. Where? At point D, यहाँ पर कोई phase change नहीं होगा. And E as well, because medium same है. You just try to understand. When there will be a phase change, when a ray of light travels from one medium into another, like when a ray of light travels from air to denser or denser to air, then there will be a phase change. Agar if it is traveling through a same medium, that is ये transmitted light हम लोग सिर्फ thin film में consider कर रहे हैं, so there will not be any phase change. So this is the condition which we have, this is the thing which we have considered. So therefore, the path difference between the two transmitted light, this DI and this FK, इस दोनों में जो path difference होगा, okay, that will affect the interference. So the path difference between the two transmitted rays, that is DI and FK, is N of this DE, ये जो है DE plus EF, and then we'll have to deduct from it, that's DN, this D and this N. मतलब ये DEF यहाँ तक जब आएगी तो ये D will reach at point N. So obviously there will be a phase that path difference. दोनों में path difference होगा. Transmitted light जब D से N तक पहुंचेगी तब ये D से E तक जाएगा, get reflected, and it will reach at a point F. So obviously there will be a phase difference. So that's why DN हमने यहाँ से माइनस किया इसमें से. So again DE, EF को हम लोग EF को हम लोग 2 इसमें डिवाइड कर सकते हैं. EF can be written as EM plus MF. Okay, so I wrote it EF as EM plus MF minus DN, and we know N is equal to sin I upon sin F. So obviously here we can write sin I, that is DN. This is opposite side upon hypotenuse, that is DF upon MF upon DF. So by deducting, we'll get Dn upon Nf. So Dn upon Mf. That will be the refractive index. So again, we can write Dn is equal to N into Mf. Now, why did we find Dn? Because we need
Hello, sir.
here. So here, yes.
Sir, we have computer science class, sir, now 3:56.
Okay. Just wait for 1 minute. I'll take just few seconds. Okay, so path difference is n of dE plus En, and that's why we'll have n into Gn. So rest of the things are same. So here also path difference we are getting 2nt into cos r. So this is an equation number 1. So this will affect the interference. It actually the interference will depend upon this particular path difference. Okay, so with remaining topic again, we will meet tomorrow at the same time with the same link. Okay, then till then, goodbye. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir,
Thank
can
you
you
so
send
much.
the PPT?
PPT.
Yes, sir. The
No, I'll
showing.
Okay.
Sir, in
Thank
book
you.
of Himalaya, the notes are same or somewhat different?
Somewhat different because consideration will be different. It depends what you consider ना. वो जो surface कौन सा consider करते हो आप, ray of light, it might be they have given EF such as we have taken AB. The rest of the things will be same. Concept same रहेगी वहाँ पर.
Okay, sir.
Concept will be same, but the notations and remaining things will be different. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So thank you so much, everyone. See you tomorrow. Good day.
Good day, sir.